So on to building your business from the inside out. This is an incredible topic I'm going to talk about this week, and it really focuses on the people that you're talking to. Who do you talk to gain your information on? Be it about the planet, be it about the world, be it about your personal life or your social life. Because I assure you folks, you are all speaking to somebody who is influencing you about all these things within your life. Because us as human beings, we're incredible organisms that actually absorb everything and anything that's around us. And part of what we think we're absorbing, we're actually not, and other things that we're not paying attention to, we're still absorbing. Let me explain. You have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind, and believe it or not, your unconscious mind is the mind where the portion of your brain that takes most part of control of all your bodily functions, and in fact even creates distinct beliefs, structures, even habits, formal habits that you do and you acquire. And the frightening thing is that unless you're aware, let me say, I can't even use the word aware because your unconscious mind means you're not aware of it, but unless you're mindful of the environment you're putting yourself in or the people you're surrounding yourself with, it's going to be absolutely near on impossible for you to create any level of success in your life. So who is it that you speak with the most? Who's the person or persons that you actually speak with, that you talk to? I've got an idea who that is, and I'm going to cover some things today I found, discovered to be some of the most powerful statements that you can say to the most important person on the planet. Now, I've brought this up before in previous trainings, but the reason why I run this section of the training, and I personally believe it's more important than any of the rest of the trainings I give you with the technical help. But what we're going to talk about today is the way in which you talk to or speak with yourself. The conversations you hold within your own mind. You know that little voice that goes off inside your head? Well, guess what? We've all got one of those. Now, if you've got 2 or 3 of those, you might have a problem. But generally speaking, we've all got at least one of those. And it's very important that we are programming by using our conscious mind of exactly how we should be in somewhat of a state of control of our unconscious mind. It was, I believe, Dr. Dennis Waitley who conducted a study back in the 70s, maybe early 80s. He worked with the Olympic team, and he conducted a study about how it was able for him to sit down with an Olympic athlete, put them in a chair, wire them up, and actually have them imagine that they were going through their winning routine or winning performance for the Olympics. And what they discovered was the same muscles and the same brain activity went on whilst they were sat in the chair, just as if it would have done if they were skiing down Mount Everest. And what's all that got to do with you and your training? Well, it's got everything to do with it. Because your brain cannot accurately distinguish between things you vividly imagine and things you've actually done. That's right, it can't tell the difference. You know, we've spoke about visualization before. Some of you need to be aware. I mean, everybody's used this. If you've been a competitor of any and had any level of success, you have envisaged yourself winning. When I competed at an international level, a national level, whatever level I competed at, and won and became successful, British champion, European champion, world championship finalist, was I imagined that happening in my mind. In fact, every day when I was training like a professional fighter, I would imagine the fight, what was going to happen, how it was going to be, how I would be able to control my fitness, how strong I would be, what kicks I would use. In fact, everything would be like a storyboard to me, so by the time I actually got to the mat, it was almost a done deal. And the most important thing is that it's absolutely true. My brain at the time couldn't distinguish between what was real and what's not, what I'd actually done and what I was about to do. And that's the good news. So we're going to talk today about a technique that was taught to me several months ago. It talks about making particular statements about who you are. Because once you make a statement about who it is that you are, your brain goes, oh, well, that must be true. Absolutely must be true. You see, right now, some people may be facing some challenges. In fact, you may be facing some challenges right now. So, if you're facing some challenges right now, whether that's real or the challenges are real or not, doesn't really matter. What does matter is the meaning you attach to that environment that you're placed in. For example, some people could be looking at the economic environment right now and going, it's an absolutely terrible time. People are saving their money. They're not spending their money. They're staying indoors and not investing in their futures right now because they're frightened the economy's upside down. However, other people, in fact other clients of mine, are thinking, well, actually this is a brilliant time to be in the martial arts business. Number one, half of my competition has actually gone out of business. That's the good news. So we've lost the weak people. We've done some cleaning in my martial arts area. Number two is the people who are still around are actually struggling, so they're spending very little money on advertising or marketing their business. And incidentally, some of the techniques I teach aren't necessarily about spending money to market your business. In fact, they're just the opposite. But number three is, some of my clients are thinking about what an incredible opportunity is right now, because when times are tough, people will reevaluate what they're wasting their money on. Or did I say wasting? I mean spending their money on. Now, for some of us, it may have been going out and having parties. People will look towards internally about better ways they can spend the money to help them achieve and get on in life. One of those things will be getting better physical shape. Another one of those things will be, improve their self-confidence. Is that going to be important right now in a downturn economy? Is it going to be important? I actually believe the economy's turning, by the way, if you haven't cottoned on to that by now. I think we're on an upturn economy, and it's just this mindset of certain people that's keeping it in the state it necessarily is in. So I want all of you to adopt that kind of mindset. Making statements about who you are is essential to your level of success. So if I asked you a question right now, and that question would be, well, who really are you? Who are you? Who do you believe that you are? Do you believe that you're kind? Do you believe you're patient? Do you believe you are successful right now? I want to just in terms of making a few words up or saying, yeah, I really do believe I am Master Charles. I mean, do you really believe you are? And whether that statement's true or not to you really will be a big reflection on whether or not you're going to have or enjoy some level of success in your future life. I was introduced to a system of creating what's called I am statements. And these I am statements are basically statements that you make to yourself about the sort of person you are. For example, let me give you an example. So you could say that you are, or I am, financially free. You could say I am enjoying the body of a six-pack fitness box-splitting machine. You could also say, I am patient, loving, and understanding. You could also say things to yourself like, I am a fantastic husband or fantastic wife. You could also say things to yourself like, I am a successful martial arts instructor. I am the best person to teach martial arts in my area. I am the best martial arts coach right here, right now, in this city, in this town. For some of you, when you first start saying these statements over and over, you get into the habit of creating some statements, it may seem a little bit fluffy. It may not even seem like it's really that relevant. Well, depending on what you've read and where you're from, and I'm sure if any of you are familiar with the DVD The Secret or the book The Secret or any form of law of attraction, you'll begin to realize that, hey, hold on a second, maybe there's something in this believing in yourself stuff. It's kind of ironic that we teach our students to better believe in themselves, and here we are, almost at times, putting ourselves on a program of self-sabotage, destroying our own self. We're not taking our own advice. We're not using the tools we know that work in terms of improving our own mindset and turning our own behavior into how we really excel in all areas of our life, be it physically, emotionally, socially, financially, whatever areas, if not all the areas that you choose to spend most of your time in. So I am statements, setting the time aside to create some incredible I am statements for you. Now, if you go on the internet and you go to Google and you type in I am statements, you'll find an interesting host of searches, and I recommend that you really do that, and you do some research about the importance of making and creating I am statements, because they're accentuated in the present, and they give you a certain feeling and a certain start to your day, and reminding yourself of exactly the kind of person you are. And just let me, if I may, take a couple of seconds, a couple of moments to describe the kind of person you are. Listen, I've walked the same path that you have, and the chances are some of you right now maybe experience some severe financial hardship, but nevertheless, no matter what, you turn up at your dojo doors, open those doors, and you teach your heart out each and every day. You teach to some students who actually don't show up no more than once or twice a month, but you still give them your absolute all. You turn up, you've dedicated your life to helping others improve their lives. Now that makes you a very different kind of person on the planet right now. It really does. It makes you one of the few who do. It makes you one of the givers. So you are patient, you are understanding, you are a leader in your community. You know, you are a force for good, or whatever it is that you want to term yourself as. So you really are. Because the best thing I know about teaching the martial arts is this. Nobody started the martial arts business to make a fortune. Come on, what, you're going to make millions out of teaching martial arts? Well, fortunately I did, but it really wasn't my intention at the start of the game. I remember getting into martial arts business making $50 a week. $50 a week. I worked 50 hours for that, mind you. I was on $1 an hour. How many of you realise, yeah, you know what, maybe I'd get rich working $1 an hour. Okay, it was a few years ago, but nevertheless it wasn't that many years ago. It still was a ridiculous amount of money. So I didn't do it because I could make a million or make millions or even enjoy any kind of lifestyle. You know what my decision was? As long as I could just get by and really do what I love for a living. And I had some fantastic mentors and people in my life who said that that was the right thing to do. In fact, it was the only thing to do. Now, the reason I'm going down this path with you is this. I'm not sure how sorry you could be feeling for yourself right now or how joyous you are. Either way, the I am statements. I'm a fantastic father. I'm an incredible coach. I'm an outstanding husband. I'm an outstanding wife. Whatever it is that you are, you need to be reminding yourself of who you really are each and every day. Now, some of you may be heeding to my advice this week, maybe think this is a load of trash, or rubbish as we say in England, but I wonder what would happen if these statements that you made to yourself really did or could make a difference to the way you started each and every day. Maybe you believe that I am an incredible communicator and I'm able to communicate to people on a daily basis about the real benefits of training in the martial arts. Imagine what your life would be like if you did say that to yourself every day. Imagine if you just created a series of small I am statements that you stapled to the bathroom mirror. So every time you cleaned your teeth, as you were cleaning your teeth, you could read through, not even necessarily aloud, just in your mind, some of your I am statements, so that you really believed who you are. And if you really wanted to go to the extra mile, you could write things about the things that you're going to enjoy in your life. Like, I am enjoying the mansion, the house of my dreams. And you could go on to describe that house. You might want to tell yourself that I am enjoying my Ferrari, I'm enjoying my Lamborghini, or whatever car, I'm enjoying my Corvette. What's important is that you take this exercise seriously. You're going to have a great time together, you and I, as we work through this process, and I assure you, 80% of everything that we're going to go through about running a successful business is not in the technical. It's in your head. It's in about the way you think about what you do. And here's why it's in your head. Before you take any action whatsoever, you contemplate in your mind whether this will bring you pain necessarily or bring you pleasure. And that will pretty much predetermine whether you take that necessary action or not. So before we get into the duology side of things, you have to make sure that your mindset is right, that you do believe what you're doing is right, that you do believe you're worthy. I've actually had clients, it's an interesting story, that go from $2,000 a month to $40,000 a month and then go bankrupt within 12 months. How is that physically possible? So let me get this right. I had a client that made no more than $20,000 in one calendar year, went on to make $20,000 a month, and then went bankrupt approximately, 18 months after they started making the big money, and consistently made the big money. But here's what happened. They didn't really believe that they were worthy of the success that they had. They didn't believe it. They didn't intrinsically believe it. And this is why this process of training your body and your mind from the inside out is so incredibly important. You know, this weekend I spent some time with some incredible people, many of which were multi-millionaires. When I mean I mean 10 plus. So had a net worth of 10 plus. Some of them had a net worth in the room of over 100 million. And it was very interesting to be around these folks, you know, to watch how they act. You know, many of them didn't even watch TV. And it's interesting, isn't it? I always like to know little silly things like that. Is it silly? And then, yes, I had the great fortune of having a top marketer actually come to dinner at my house. We discussed a number of things, and the funny thing, actually, the thing came up to mind that he actually doesn't watch any TV. I started talking about some of the TV programs that are on TV. He didn't know what I was talking about. No idea what they were. And it really reminded me, you know what, I really should cancel my cable permanently. because it's severely affecting my income. Now this gentleman has a reoccurring income of 6 figures a month, so that makes him pretty healthy in terms of financial terms. It's just interesting to the term that he uses to describe himself, and in concert with that, the systems in which he uses to train his mind and keep him focused on a daily basis. We're in the martial arts business, folks. We love it. We like it, we love it, and we want more of it. So let's get some more of it. Let's get so much of it that we can relish in the fact that we're not going to help 10 or 20 people in our lifetime. We're going to help 10,000 or 20,000 people in our lifetimes. Here's what I recommend you do. You can stop the training right now. Just press pause on the button. Grab a sheet of paper. Draw out on that sheet of paper, I am. And let's make some real statements about who it is that you really are. Who are you? So I am a fantastic and incredible martial arts instructor who has the ability to easily attract new students. What would happen if we replied that and said that to ourselves over and over again? I think Tony Robbins calls them incantations. Take the time to do this exercise, please. This is probably going to be the most important exercise you do about all of the trainings. And believe me, we've got an exciting training today for you, because today I'm going to talk about how you make your life so much easier when it comes to upgrading new students. So, giving you some examples. Take your time, stop the presentation right now, and let's take a couple of minutes just to write out some really positive I am statements. And go one step further than that, put them on a post-it note and stick them on the bathroom mirror. So every time you clean your teeth, you get to read through these I am statements. You want to have some real fun? Share these I am statements with your partner, with your son, with your child. And guess what? Get them to write some I am statements too.